Let me know when we're rolling.
This week, we have asked Chris to do the vault. Should we have? Probably not. He's a new dad. He's been out of the office for, I would say like 3 weeks now, almost a month. And he's kind of getting back into the flow of things. Chris is one of those who is heavily involved when it comes to street parking. So, you know, he's got that type of personality where he wants to kind of plug back in, you know, and just go 0 to 100 real quick, whether it's healthy for him or not. But part of me, if I'm being completely honest, thinks it's kind of funny, just because it's nice to have somebody else understand the difficulties of being a new father and then still dealing with your day-to-day priorities. And also, we have a new element to the Julian versus Miranda challenge this year, so we got to start planning for that as well.
Yeah, people are going to be really excited about that.
I'm good. I'm totally good. I'm fine. You know, a little tired, but I'm fine. Yeah, he's coming out of that newborn phase where, you know, he's in his bassinet and just... As your body wants more sleep, right? It's like as you try to get into that flow, your body can only take so much, and you're like, 2 o'clock hits, and it's just like instinct at that point. 2 to the sun coming up, the witching hours.
There's not really much you can do as a newborn dad because baby wants absolutely nothing to do with you as a new father at all. It hurts your heart a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. Makes you feel really worthless. Like, what am I even doing here? Fine, you wanna cry, cry. Don't love me. And then you're like worried about leaving the room because like, oh my gosh, is he breathing? Their little breathing is so small, it's like.
Any moms out there, like, I'm so much more respect, man, but you're out. At what point do you just not become useless? You know? Like, how are you, like, hey dad, like, how are you, you know, making yourself useful at home? Like, you know, like, what are some tips and tricks to relieve mom? I'm not growing boobs anytime soon.
How you doing over here?
I'm good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You look sleepy.
I mean, no, I'm good.
You sure? I mean, you don't have to do the vault this week if you need to catch up on some sleep. I mean, it looks like you just got back from a fitness expo. Cotton candy.
It's delicious. Have you tried it?
No. There's mold in there. Have you been drinking this? Your living conditions are making me a little concerned. You don't have to.
I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I'm like, dude, you don't have to be a hero. Like, just go to sleep. Every time I ask him, Chris, are you okay? He's like, yeah, absolutely, I'm good. You good? You know, like, I'm like, dude, you are not good. You are far from good. Do I need to say something? I'm so worried about him. I don't know what's going on, man. He is the graphic designer for street parking. Like, he needs to get enough sleep so that so the creative juices can flow. I feel like the river has run dry lately.
Oh.
What do you think? Jorts and a male romper.
That looks like something Miranda would wear to go to bed. Or like something a wife would wear for their husband to just kind of get him excited. That's supposed to be for men's.
Yeah. It's a lot of leg. It's nice.
No man should show that much leg.
I think we have to do this.
That's too much hair.
That's Andre Agassi.
Yeah, not all our members look like that.
I think that the members will love this.
It's just not going to look good, Chris. We don't want to key on something like that.
If we make these shorts, he can stretch, he can run, he can work out, he can go from the garage gym.
I feel like if you hit a stretch, something's going to pop out. Like a little peekaboo.
It's a good thing, right?
I don't think so.
No, it's a good thing.
I don't think so. I think people would actually call the cops.
I'm just going to save it out. I'm going to throw it in the archive. We can come back to it.
No. Come on now. Come on. He's very sleep deprived. This is not Chris. This is not the Chris I know. It's gone too far. It was funny at first, but now I think I actually gotta take some action. Nikki told me she needed to talk to you.
What's going on, Nikki?
Not much.
Need me?
No?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Any minute now. Any minute. Twinkle, little star, how I wonder.
Hey guys, welcome to week 19 of the Street Parking Vault. The Vault is a 1 workout per week for 25-week series with the goal of maintaining consistency. You can do any program version that you like, and remember, we encourage you to customize it to make it work for you. Your scores don't matter, you just can't miss. Hey you guys, welcome to week 19 of the Street Parking Vault. This week we're taking on the god Apollo. Apollo is every 7 minutes for 21 minutes, 20 bent over rows, 30 weighted step-ups, and a 400-meter run. Your score for this workout is your fastest round only, and your goal is to get it in under 5 minutes. There is an extra challenge for this workout if you're interested. You'd go every 6 minutes for 18 minutes instead of every 7 for 21. So because we're scoring fastest round only today, that means we are encouraging you guys to send it from the get-go. So push the pace from the start and really try to get that first round in as fast a time as you possibly can. But keep in mind that that does not give you an excuse to move sloppily on the bent over rows. So make sure that you choose a weight that you can do the 20 reps in 2 to 3 sets, and that will allow for you to do them without rotating through the torso or jerking your chest up to complete the rows. Now for the weighted step-ups, make sure that you choose a weight that you can get those 30 reps done in 1.5 to 2 minutes or so, and then push the pace on the run, knowing that you'll get some rest before the next round starts.
Okay, you guys, welcome back to week 19 of the 2021 Street Parking Vault. This week, we are taking on Shift Apollo. This workout is 5 rounds of 10 bent over rows, 14 alternating unweighted step-ups, and 1 minute of jog, run, or other continuous movement. The score for this workout is the total time that it takes to complete all 5 rounds. The goal would be to finish in 10 to 14 minutes. Now to hit the goal of this workout, we're looking at 2 minutes to maybe 2:40 per round. You've got a minute of continuous movement in there. That gives you a minute to a minute 40 for the bent over rows and the step ups. Bent over rows, keep them strict, okay? Don't get sloppy, start jerking your chest all over the place. Choose a load, choose a variation that you can do a nice strict pull using your middle back and your arms. Plenty of time to do 10 reps of that movement. Now with the alternating unweighted step ups, you want to keep your chest up, keep your torso up, belly tight, and drive through the front leg or the stepping leg, the one that's planted on the box, to generate most of the force in performing that step up. Lastly, for the 1 minute of continuous movement, do your best to find a pace that you can be continuous and not be stopping and starting or running and walking rather than running fast and then walking for a little bit. Try and find a happy medium at a jog, a pace that you can move constantly for 60 seconds. Have fun with this one, guys.
All right, guys, we're about to get started. I am gonna be doing the dumbbell version with the run. Nikki is going to be doing the shift version, and Chris will be doing program C, which is sandbag and the bike option. All right, you guys ready? Yeah, let's do this. 10 seconds.
All right, here we go. Apollo, everybody. Nicole, what do you think about this one?
I mean, I'm pretty excited for Apollo, mainly because I like a bent over row. I don't know why, I just do. It's probably because I'm actually good at them. So I'm excited for the bent over row, not so much for the run. And the weighted step ups are pretty all right too, if I'm stepping up to a low enough height. How do you feel about it, Jeb?
I agree with all of that.
Yes.
I think the bent over row is awesome. I think that that's one to really look out for though, because you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly. It's not one that you can actually rush.
What are some tips to do it correctly? How do you know if you're doing it correctly?
So we'll see in the next round, we'll point it out, but basically you want to keep a really fixed, hinged position and just use your arms and your middle back to pull or to row. And a lot of times what we do is we rush and we hurry and we try to go really fast and we start to jerk our chest up or use the hips and sort of cheat it a little bit.
So basically no kipping bent over rows.
Yeah, no kipping bent over rows. Now I also love the weighted step up. I agree the height has to be appropriate.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is the way that we kind of have repurposed weighted step ups is to kind of do them a little faster, and we actually can use a bit of momentum. So you can see Alex, the dumbbells kind of swing back and then they swing forward as she stands up. So that allows you to stand up to a higher height a
Work
little bit.
smarter, not harder.
Exactly. So you can actually keep the chest up and you can keep good positions and stuff, but step higher.
Nice. Oh, looks
right.
like Chris and Alex both finished at about the same moment there and are taking off on their row, or I should say bike/run section.
And now you can see Nikki is doing the shift version of Apollo, and that is 5 rounds of 10 bent over rows, 14 alternating unweighted step ups, and 1 minute of jog, run, or any other continuous movement really that you want to do.
Yeah,
So-
and Nikki beforehand was trying to figure out like how far she should go. She does have a watch on, so she's just gonna run 30 seconds out, 30 seconds back. But if you didn't have a watch, you could always time it ahead of time, see kind of where you were at 30 seconds, and then just mark that as your spot for the like continuing rounds, right?
Are you suggesting that you might want to take a practice round before doing this workout?
Oh my God, I am.
Always, always, always a good idea. I love to take a little practice round before I work out, and it gives me a really good idea of what I can expect and what I should shoot for in that workout rather than just going into it blind.
Yeah, the funny thing is I know I have the knowledge of you should warm up before a workout. I am definitely one of those people who until recently hasn't been warming up before workouts. I started literally this week to actually incorporate it in, and it's so weird. I feel better about it.
Incredible.
How bizarre, Jeb.
How bizarre. So Chris is jamming on this last little bike here. I imagine Alex is going to appear
Wow.
just about now. Wow, now that's incredible. That's about
Oh.
3.5 minutes.
Right, because the score on this one
Exactly.
is your fastest round, right?
Yes.
Oh,
so
dang.
keep that in mind, folks. Your score is the fastest round.
Dang, little high, or I guess low 5 from these two right now. They both look like they really pushed it on this first go round. I'm wondering if they're gonna be able to hold that pace.
We'll see. I mean, so if your goal is the fastest round, then, or the score is the fastest round, then you really want to send it.
Yeah.
And you want to send it when you're fresh. And then you just keep sending it. And if you're, but your time, you should expect your time's probably going to fall off from round to round. But 3:30 is really good.
Heck yeah, now they have a nice solid rest before they go again to recuperate and then hopefully really send it again.
Yeah,
Like overnight shipping fast.
exactly. Now keep in mind that if you did the extra challenge of this workout, it would be every 6 minutes. So if you are getting like really fast first round in that 3-minute range, then you might consider going every 6 minutes rather than every 7 minutes. But I know that Alex is like recovering from a couple of things, feeling a little under the weather last week or whatnot. So
Not to mention, she was saying earlier, she's a little bit upset in that she has had to do every running workout of the vault except for the one. She's like, what up, guys? My knees are not happy with this. What are you doing? I think she's going to file a complaint to management.
let's see how far that complaint goes.
Not very far. Also, Alex is just not the complaining type, so I'll file it for her. It'll be funny. I'll
Nice.
sign her name at the bottom. I'll forge it.
So I was talking to Alex before the workout. She said that she was planning that first round, her fastest round, was going to be 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
And what did you get? Like 3 something,
She
right?
got 3:30.
Oh my God.
She told me 4:45, and I said, 4:45? I don't think that's going to happen. And it didn't.
I know when Chris heard it was the fastest round is the score, he was stoked. He was like, oh yeah, I'm going peacock. I think he did. I think he might be able to hold it though. They're getting a significant, they still have what, another minute of rest here.
Yeah. Chris has some time to get caught up on a little bit of sleep here, I think.
Yeah, when he rolled up this morning, he's like, oh man, not much sleep last night. Not much sleep last night, so.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. You know, these are fun workouts, and it's the vault, and there's a lot of fun content that surrounds them. But at the same time, you know, sleep is huge, warming up is huge, stress is huge, and those can all impact your workout. So just listen to your body, be aware of your circumstances, and approach this workout in a way that's appropriate for you today.
Jeb always coming in with the solid tips, remind us to be mindful of our bodies.
Got to, man.
I appreciate that about you, Jeb. That's what I appreciate about him.
All right, we're gearing up for round 2 here.
Another chance to look at those bent over rows.
Oh yeah, here we go. So you can see they're holding a pretty static, hinged position. Not doing a lot of like jerky stuff.
Yeah, don't be a jerk in the bent over row.
No, don't be a jerk. The bent over rows are one of those things though, they feel pretty easy at first and then they get really hard.
Oh my goodness. Just gonna let that one lie, Jeb. Thanks.
Sometimes you wander into the middle of a sentence and there's just no way out.
Yeah, Nikki off for another run.
It.
She really is. Look at her go too. It's pretty fast.
She's very fast, and I was asking her, she was really excited about this workout because she really likes a lot of the posterior chain type movements, the weighted step ups, the bent over row. Believe it or not, just holding that position really does fire up the hamstrings, the glutes, just to be able to stay in the position to do the row.
Yeah, she loves that posterior chain work. She's a member of that new Butts and Guts #Peach Gang.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's like, I'm all about that posterior chain. Alex, I think, made a smart move on this one too. Alex is not one of the taller individuals in the office, so she went with a shorter box. Instead of the 20 inches, she's stepping up to 18 inches, which I think is smart. I know for myself, I'm about the same height as Alex. If I step up in a weighted step up to a 20-inch box, my low back gets so very mad at me.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I think that's something that we want to look out for. If you're stepping up to the box, and the first thing that happens is your butt kind of shoots back, and you arch your back to try to keep your chest up, that's really going to place some excessive strain on the lower back. And then if you got to go run after that, you're going to feel that back light up during the run.
For sure.
So that's why either you choose an appropriate height that you can step smoothly, keep the chest up, and keep the belly tight so your back stays nice and flat.
Yeah.
If you want to be moving faster and go to a higher box, then you can get that little swing if you're using the dumbbells. For our purposes, for this type of workouts, that swing is perfectly acceptable.
Heck
If you're
yeah.
doing straight up strength training, obviously you don't want to be swinging and using momentum.
Obviously.
Obviously.
So, okay, this is Apollo.
Yes.
What do we know about Apollo?
Well, I know that he's not your favorite god.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but something about Apollo irritates me.
Is it because he's the epitome of youth, beauty, source of life and healing?
I think it's because he's one of the most loved of the gods, and I'm
yeah.
I'm more of an underdog supporter. So if you're the fan favorite, I'm usually I'm over you, Apollo.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is that he's just a little too clean cut. We
Yes.
like somebody maybe that's a little more edgy.
Yeah, a little rough around the edges, Apollo just seems like he's very, if I could picture him, he's wearing pleated khaki shorts. Something with a little maybe that little alligator guy and a little polo shirt. That's what I'm picturing with Apollo, and I'm just although I would probably rock that without the pleats possibly, I feel like I would add a little edge to it. I feel like he's way too, I'm Apollo.
Totally, he sounds just like that.
Just like that, right? I mean, I'm doing a perfect Apollo impersonation. Chris is really pushing it. Oh my God.
Oh man, that bike's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
You go really hard in the first round. That second time on the bike's really gonna be nasty. Now, Alex, her time fell off by about 20 seconds, I wanna say on there.
Oh, okay.
So I think that second round was about 350, which is, I'd say, really good.
Yeah.
It's to be expected that your time's gonna fall off, so if you can stay within 20, 30 seconds of your first round, that's pretty awesome.
I feel like, was the goal under 5?
Yes.
So that's still dope.
Oh yeah.
Crushing it. Funny thing is, when I was looking up Apollo and it said epitome of youth and blah, blah, blah. Epitome is that word that I know it's epitome, but whenever I say it in my mind, I say epitome.
The epitome.
Do you have any words like that? I have a couple of words like that. I like continued, continued.
I feel like I do, but I can't think of any right now.
Grey's Anatomy, anatomy.
Anatomy.
I don't know if I got enough sleep last night.
Hey, just go with it.
Dang. What did Chris finish at about time-wise?
Right about at the 12-minute mark, so I want to say that was about 5 minutes.
Nice.
So he's on the money. This last round is going to really suck for him, I think. Between you and me.
I think you're right. So let me ask you something real quick. I mentioned earlier sometimes the weighted step up can be a bit much for me. My low back is being cranky or whatever. What would be maybe a good sub for a weighted step up that I could use if my back was just not having it that day?
So there's a couple of things you could do. Obviously well, maybe not obviously, but a lunge is sort of our go-to
Right.
customization. So you can always switch to lunges and see how those feel. Now, if the weight is too heavy, then you're probably gonna have the same problems in the lunges as you might have in the step-ups as far as your core turning off on the way up and out of the lunge portion.
Right.
So dropping the load is also a good idea, and just to see, how your body responds. If your back is lighting up in a workout, at that point, it's almost a little bit too late. So even if you drop the weight down,
right,
you're gonna be feeling it because your back's already lit up. So the best thing is to try and choose your customization appropriately at the beginning.
Right.
But if you need to drop down to unweighted lunges or step-ups just to keep things moving, hey, go for it.
Right
Fitness
on.
freedom.
What about, Alex is about to start again here. What's a good sub for a bent over row?
So a lot of this is going to be dependent on equipment.
Okay.
But to go back to your lower back thing, if you're feeling the low back and weighted step-ups and you've got bent over rows, which, just look at the position,
Yeah.
your back's having to work. So one thing I love is just a supported bent over row, doing it with the single arm. So you plant one hand and maybe one knee on a box or a bench, and then that helps you really fire up the core, and you can perform the bent over row. Like if it's 20 in the workout, you do 10 on one arm, 10 on the other arm.
Right on.
You could do a ring row or an inverted row with the barbell in a rack. If you want to get real crazy, you could do pull-ups.
Cool.
Looks like Nikki is all done. Went to the 15-minute mark, I believe, is the shift.
Shift,
or no, it's
5 rounds,
Five
yeah.
rounds, yes.
And let's see what the goal was 10 to 14 minutes. Nice.
Nikki did it in 11 minutes.
Crushed it right there, perfectly in the lower end of the goal. Very nice.
Yes, that was great.
Chris is really contemplating his life choices right now. I don't think he's a big fan of a weighted step up.
No, and that coupled with the bike.
Ouch.
Yeah. My hat's off to anyone that attempts the Program C version of this workout.
Yeah, if you're doing the Program C version, you could do a bike or a row.
Or a row, yeah.
Or, if you got all the equipment, you could probably throw a ski erg in there.
Sure.
Don't know if you'd want to, but you could.
If you want to. Yeah, if you're using the row, that's a lot of pulling.
Oof, and the low back again.
Yep. Using the bike, it's a lot of legs. So there's really no escape.
If you
all right, Alex is out for her final 400-meter run. Let's see how this goes.
If you were going to use a bike or a rower, which would you choose?
That's a great question. For me, personally, right now, wow, that's a good question. I would probably go with the bike. Just because I'm really loving that just quad blow up that I get from the bike.
Gotcha.
But I also really love the rower. So it kind of would depend on the day and depend on what it is that I'm looking to get out of the workout. The stimulus of this workout with whatever equipment you choose is going to be very similar, but little differences, like if I want to get a little bit more of a back and arm workout, then I'm gonna go with the rower.
Gotcha.
If I want to get a little bit more of like a just output stimulus, then I'm gonna go with the bike, because I feel like the bike for me it just wrecks me.
Yeah.
All right, Chris is on to his last 30 cal.
So this is gonna be the last home stretch for both of them. Alex is out on her run. Chris is hitting the bike, and when they're done with this, they're done, right?
That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, so they are looking good. The goal would be 5 minutes or under, but obviously they may or may not hit that, but they'll definitely finish in under 21.
Yeah, I
so
think
that's like absolute.
I think they're both just hanging on at this point.
For sure.
This was definitely a peacock's paradise. Oh, snap.
Wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Let's see. I don't have my math hat on.
Yeah, I was
right
gonna say
now.
you're gonna have to do the math on that one. That's not my
What time
forte.
did this,
I mean, 7 plus 7 is 14, so 14 to this, so she did like a little over 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Yeah.
I feel like I nailed that.
You did nail that.
Right?
That was great, and you walked us through it every step of the way.
I mean, that's how my brain works.
Felt like I was right there with
my
you.
one half of my brain walks my other half of my brain through every single conversation
Nice.
in my head. That's normal, right?
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, so that's great. So Alex finished with a pretty tight spread right between the first and the third round. It was like 3:30, 3:50, maybe 4 minutes, 4:02 or something like that.
And although we're going for the fastest round only, that's what we're looking for, right? A tight spread?
Yeah, always. You know, you want to go as hard as you can, and then you want to go as hard as you can every time, really.
Yeah.
You don't want to just go really hard in the first round
Yeah.
and then just kind of, sandbag your way through the next 2 rounds.
Got it. Noted. Hard as you can every time, tight spread.
Yep, exactly. All right, Chris is digging deep here.
I love it. The girls are going over to cheer him on. Although I have to be honest, I'm one of those people that if I'm the last one going, leave me alone.
Yeah, it's interesting. People go either way on that.
I mean,
you know?
sometimes it's great. I don't know. And there's no way to tell which way I'm going to go. I would say 90% of the time, I'm like, pretend I'm not here. Ignore me. Nothing to see here. Nothing's happening. And then there is that one random moment where I'm like, cheer me on.
Hey guys, hey, I'm still going.
Help me.
All right.
Yeah,
Chris is all done. Wonderful job, everybody.
All of them crushed it well within their goal time, so they all did it in the right way for them. I think we're going to head over to Alex for some tips.
All right, guys, so like Jeb and Nicole said, like I said in the beginning, because we're scoring your fastest round only, that means we are encouraging you to peacock from the beginning. So make sure that that first round is you sending it. Of course, we start off each round with bent over rows, which we don't encourage you to get sloppy with. So sending it with that movement can seem kind of counterintuitive. But the good news is you pretty much start off fresh every round to go into those. I was able to do all 20 unbroken, with my last 5 being a little bit slower, a little bit more intentional, making sure that I wasn't jerking through my torso to finish the range of motion of the pull. But by all means, if you need to, we would rather you break for a short period, shake it out, take a few deep breaths, and get back into it if you feel like your form is breaking down. And of course, as always, choosing an appropriate weight is going to be paramount to making sure that you can do that. The weighted step-ups, if you're doing the dumbbell option, I will have you know, the grip is by far the worst part of that. And just your whole upper back after the rows is just thrashed. So it gets really hard to hold on to the dumbbells. I would imagine with any other implement, sandbag, barbell, it's going to put a lot more strain on your lower back. So either way, those are going to be pretty tough. And it's just a grind. You just got to keep moving through it. If you are holding onto the dumbbells, I do recommend breaking once because that helped me sustain a little bit for all 3 rounds. And then on the run or whatever it is, just send it. Just set your mind to it. Hit it hard. Do your best. You're probably going to slow down towards the end because you're just gassed out, but that's okay. Because again, you earn a lot of rest for this workout. And it should be just enough so that you can hit it hard again. So it burned, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look like much on paper, but there's a lot of time to think about how much it hurts, which kind of sucks, but it's a fun one. So I hope you guys enjoy Apollo.